Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Hey everybody, this is going to be a tremendous show. I'm taking a real point of personal privilege and delivering a lot of people that I've been waiting to put on for a long time because I thought they'd make a great show together. We've got Scott Cunningham. He's the director of Oh Miami's Poetry. That's right, Miami actually has culture when you move down here. Joe Cuomo, he is going to talk to us about the future of real estate marketing. Make sure you listen to Joe. I warned everybody about, I don't know how many years ago that we met, Joe, but it keeps on happening. And a high five to my good friend Todd Gladys for all he's doing at 10X. And then we're going to have Henry Pino on. Henry's just the disruptor. Henry's disrupting, everything from housing to the way you do your clothes. So Henry and I are going to talk. I can't wait to talk to Henry about this. It's really great. So we're going to have a great show, poetry to mellow you out, or to get you excited, or to at least get you connected. We're going to have great real estate talk, and we're going to have always positive energy. Make sure to stick with us because I got to sell a couple. Mom just texted me. She can't believe how good the orchids I gave her look. I keep telling her it's my manifestation of love for you, Mom. We'll be right back after this short break, sell some cars, come back, and we're going to talk about the future of real estate and a whole bunch of other great stuff after this, and it'll all be filled with positive energy. Everybody, by now, if you're watching or listening, you know we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. And you know that at this point, I always thank Larry and the rest of my friends at Warren Henry Auto because they've been sponsoring us since 2012. So if you wonder if we've got any reach and any impact, well, I think we might. Anyway, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at their new store at 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. I'm thinking about getting one of those with all my big commission checks. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. I'm going to get my wife a Jeep so we can drive up to the hemp farm. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they come with the Warren Henry Advantage. What's that? It's this list of great things you get. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to return to see if you like your car. You will. I saw them all up at the Supercar Saturday, last Saturday up at the Pembroke Lakes Mall. I didn't give hugs yet, but boy, it was so great to see people again. So remember, always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. If you don't know by now, you really should, that we need to all get together and be positive and kind. Call me if you need real estate financing. Henry will tell you I know how to get it done. Joe will tell you I know how to get it done. And Scott, you'll learn that I know how to get it done. If you need creative financing, call me. I can get you 85 to 90% construction financing right now. Limited recourse or non-recourse. Need pref equity? Just did that for a friend of mine in Broward County on his apartment. Fix and flip? Need a big land deal done? Oh, that's my specialty for the next 12 months. All kinds of land guys are calling me, and I've got institutional capital for them. I've even got a B-piece lender that can move fast if you really need it. So call me, 305-773-6300, or DM me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're now officially a Zoom thing because somebody just came in and tried to do something that we didn't know anything about. We got rid of him. Thank you, Reagan. Okay, so we're here with my good friend Joe Cuomo, who's promised me he's not going to bounce anymore. And we're going to talk about the future of real estate marketing that is now. Joe, when we first met, I went to my office. They told everybody they were out of a job. Okay, that might have been a little bit of a exaggeration, but not quite. Since we first met, I see all the big companies are now using 10X. Tell me what's going on, why that's happening, and where you see it going.
Sure. And again, thanks, Jim, for having me on. It's been a pleasure. It's definitely been a few years.
Too long, Joe. Too long.
So the future of the business and where we're at, our business at 10X is selling real estate online through an online auction company, right? We started the business back in 2009, really launched it in 2011, selling a lot of distressed assets, REO properties for lenders, non-performing loans, receivership sales, the like. As we developed the business in 10, 11, and 12, we said, wow, this is all we're doing is taking an offline process and bringing it online. Initially, yes, we did have conversations, Jim. This is the evolution of the investment sales process and bringing technology to real estate and putting brokers out of business. That couldn't be further from the truth. Every single piece of real estate that we sell on 10X has a licensed broker, requires a licensed broker, needs a broker. We have truly transformed our business to being a marketing and technology engine. 55+% of our business that we get, so we list properties for sale instead of doing a call for offers like in a traditional process for your home or for your commercial property. We're conducting an auction like eBay. The brokers sell the real estate, sell the opportunity, they sell the dream to the investors. We drive more eyeballs from around the world to your property and your listing. And so we're truly a marketing engine, right? And then we're also a technology engine conducting an auction and keeping a very tight and efficient process in place, really marrying technology into commercial real estate.
Well, I know that in investment sales, it's always been about reach and exposure. And it went from who do you know to who does somebody else know? And now it's who knows you. And I really think that by getting that kind of exposure for somebody that's in the, I'll have to say it this way, process management business, I think it's something that they need to have now. I don't know how you don't have all the bases covered and go to an institution and say, I want to market your property. More than that, I think that you add a very good level of transparency that's been absent in that market, where many sellers might have thought they were getting the best value or best price, but maybe they weren't. Thoughts?
Yeah, good point, Jim. The auction is definitely not for every deal, but it's for a lot more part of the market than folks think. And everything really sub 25 million has really been in our wheelhouse. There's been a lot of money made in different industries and in real estate throughout the years. Folks bring that capital. What we provide to buyers is we give them access to deals that ordinarily they might not have access to because the deal might not be listed on a website. They might not have the brokers, be in the broker system, if you will. So we provide access to buyers all around the world to see the properties on 10X. And then we also give them a level playing field which to transact. You mentioned transparency and maximizing the price and execution. Last time we talked, and I remember because this was a theme for years, we were averaging 2.8 fully approved bidders per deal. People who felt confident enough to do their due diligence work up front, show up to our auction, bid, then put a 10% non-refundable deposit down and close.
Yeah, I participated in your auction
60 days
before.
Yeah, right? And the process has evolved. So what 10X is committed to now is we're ordering title commitments. We're getting star reports. We're getting phase ones, property condition assessments. We're putting a lot of money and effort into making sure all of the uncertainty in that real estate transaction is removed. So if you're buying, you have all of your questions answered well in advance of the auctions. That's the major difference since probably the last time I was on and what you and I spoke about, to remove all that uncertainty. That has built adoption. Of course, technology in real estate. People have more money. They want access to deals. The average number of fully approved bidders we've averaged over the last year, Jim, you ready? 11. 11 fully approved, fully qualified bidders showing up with ample proof of funds, due diligence, property tours, understanding of the real estate, whatever way we and the buyer, seller and broker want to qualify them to buy real estate. Every deal we sell has an undisclosed reserve price. So if you're selling an asset and you want $5 million and the highest bid is $1 million, you're not obligated to sell. But once the reserve price is met, that's the transparency. That's where the bidders know it's buyer against buyer. The seller can no longer bid on your behalf. So any perception of shill bidding or backdoor bidding or whatever the case may be that lacks transparency in our industry now comes full force. The full transparency of the process comes in when buyers know they're getting bidding against other qualified buyers who are on the same level playing field as them.
So I want to talk about how you interface with the brokerage community and help them to amplify their presence.
Sure. Everything we do nowadays, so we were acquired last June by CoStar. Probably read about it in the news. CoStar is now bought and successfully integrated more than 30 companies, right? Stock price has gone from 40 to 850. We have $5 billion of cash in our balance sheet. Our CEO is a brilliant man who's putting a lot of money to work towards 10X and building the adoption. And it's really about preparing in 2021 for 2031, knowing that it's going to still take time to get the adoption with the brokers. But everything we do, Jim, is all about the brokers, helping to support them, as you mentioned earlier, more eyeballs, more qualified eyes on their properties, helping them and their clients achieve the maximum execution and pricing. So our business, just like CoStar's business, is fully broker-centric. Everything we do revolves around supporting the broker. We build technology tools, customized dashboards. We run marketing campaigns, print, digital now, of course, Facebook and LinkedIn, everywhere to market their properties and bring eyes. We're spending on average $15,000 to $18,000 per property to market the assets and bring more eyes to the deal. We are only paid a success fee when the deal trades and closes. Another thing that I'll highlight here and I'll pause is we've lowered our fee structure, Jim. We've cut the buyer premium of how we're paid in half. So we used to charge a 5% buyer premium on every deal. And then for larger deals, you might do some fee sharing. Not transparent. If you're buying on 10X and you go to our website right now, click on any asset, you'll see above the picture the transaction fee schedule. If you bid $3.5 million, your transaction fee is 2.5% versus 5%. It's another thing we've taken to show the brokerage community we're trying to build for scale, build for volume. We're all about lowering our costs, lowering our fees, and lowering barriers to entry for both buyers, sellers, and brokers to use our platform.
You know, it's really tremendous. I'd like to have you on again sometime down the road, maybe with the CoStar guy, give you more time because it's a whole different topic. Okay, it's the consolidation of the tech business, and companies like CoStar and others are going and picking winners and losers in prop tech right now. I'd really like to see if I could get you guys on our first of the month show where we discuss prop tech specifically. Do you think you could come back with maybe somebody from CoStar in a couple of weeks, Joe?
Would love to, Jim. I always love being on here. Miss seeing you, and we're always about. Again, just a key concept, we're trying to support the market. We now have 30 companies. We'd be more than happy to talk to you offline about, which groups make sense, but that's the whole theme and thesis.
100%, Joe. Yeah. 100%, because I have ideas of people that I know that you guys should be talking to and including in your suite of companies that drive off your data procurement and data. You see, it's all data driven. We don't have enough time to talk about it now. The whole key to those 30 businesses is the data that they have.
Yeah, look, if you ask me at 10X, you have to subscribe to CoStar data. But if you say, hey, Joe, what are you seeing in the full service hotel space? Or what are you seeing in the strip retail space? Those hot asset classes that we all know, whether you're in real estate or not listening, we all know the hotel industry has suffered. I'll provide you data on every asset we've sold last year, last 3 years. You tell me where, when, what market. The 10X data and the history of our 8,100 successful closings is all free to anybody who calls and asks for it.
Joe, I want to thank you guys for being on the show today and being our keynote speaker here today. I am going to get you back. I'll coordinate with you off the air. We'll have a whole tech show based just on this stuff, what 10X is doing, and maybe I'll bring a couple of my tech companies on, and you can talk to them about your platform too.
Sounds good. Congrats on all your success, personally, professionally, Jim, and let me know when you're free and you're down here. We can grab one of our classic breakfast at Green Street. So
that's going to happen within the next 3 weeks. And I got a feeling Henry's going to be there too. You just saw him smiling.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
It's right down the street.
That's
right
Joe
down the
Cuomo.
street.
That's 10X. Joe, you're like the director of national sales, aren't you?
Yeah, I was running our national sales. Now I'm heading up institutional accounts. So I deal with a lot of our larger REITs, Blackstone, public REITs, all the large CMBS servicers and banks. So I've shifted more into managing the institutional business as we're growing the platform.
Well, that's where you belong, Joe.
Yeah.
My best to Todd and the rest of the team. I'll reach out to you today, tomorrow, or Friday. We'll get it coordinated for the first week on our tech show. And I can't thank you enough for what you do, not only in the real estate part, but I know you're very involved in the community. You don't really publicize that, but I really, really want to thank you for being here and keeping 10X focused on South Florida.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. We're going to be on next. We're going to go a little softball now with Scott Cunningham. Scott, I got to sell a couple of cars. Then I promise I'm going to come back. I want to hear all about poetry and how we're going to make Miami a place where all these tech guys are going to come and live. Joe won't be the only one. We'll have a lot of them. We're going to be back after this. Reagan, take it over. We're going to talk about my good friends at Warren Henry, and then I'll be right back. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show, and it's obvious we get great guests. Joe Cuomo, Henry Pino, yes, even you, Scott Cunningham. Thank you again to Lisa Paley. All right, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been sponsored by Warren Henry since July 2012. You think we help them sell a couple of cars? Darn tootin' we do. Hey, when you're looking to buy or lease that car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all exceptional cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary, I almost forgot. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. All right, so join me, my mom, and my beautiful wife, Vivian. Lots of my friends, too. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
She's terrific. She helps lots of my clients, and she helps me look good all the time. Hey, need some help with your real estate deal? Call me, 305-773-6300. Doing a loan based on art. Oh, yeah. Watches can do that too, but really we focus on real estate. Those are just fast, hard money bridge loans. On your real estate deal, I can get it done in a couple of weeks if you need it, maybe even a week. But if it's a week, you better have all your due diligence done like 10X guys. Call me, though. Why? Because I do all kinds of complicated, crazy things. Need pref equity? I've got that. Need a high leverage, non-recourse construction loan for your condo deal? Huh, I can do that too. Henry likes that, and so will you. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's really all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, Back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back on Freed on Business. We're going to talk with Scott Cunningham. I want to thank Lisa Paley for bringing Scott onto the show, and I want to thank Scott for bringing culture to our, well, it's not a wasteland and cultural desert anymore, and I really do like the way you set up your Zoom call with the books in the back. Well played.
Thanks, I try.
So, Scott, tell me about what's going on with O Miami in our community. I know we used to have O Cinema. Is this kind of related to that? Give me some background.
No, O Cinema are friends of ours, but totally unrelated business.
Thank goodness, because I'm the one who sold that site.
Oh, you are? Yeah. No,
Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
No, not at all. They're doing great. O Cinema's doing great. No, we started actually right around the same time as O Cinema did. But we're a month-long poetry festival. It occurs every April, and the mission is for every single person in Miami to encounter a poem during the month of April.
Awesome. Where can I encounter a poem?
There's a lot of places. So we have actually if you're on Lincoln Road, there's the Colony Theater. We have kids' poems up on the marquee of the Colony Theater all month. If you're getting vaccinated at Jackson Memorial Health Systems, we're giving out Band-Aids with poems on them for after you get vaccinated.
That's
yeah.
Great.
And we're doing another project with a couple artists from London where we're projecting short poems on the sides of buildings.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I don't know the answer to this. How are we getting kids involved?
So we have an educational program that runs throughout the year where we go into schools, we bring a poet into your school, and we'll teach poetry class. And so we collect poems from those kids, and then we use April to sort of broadcast the poems back out to Miami and show everybody the level of creativity that they have in their backyards.
Oh, that's tremendous. Would you do something like on social media and tag me so that I could promote it and be part of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. I think it'd be awesome. You should get some influencers. Lisa could help you. And you tag them with poems. Oh, this is great. You tag them with a poem.
Yeah, I love it.
Isn't that a great idea, Henry?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
See, and Henry's the thought leader. Henry's the big cheese in town. He's the real deal. So I think it would be great, and it would create incredible awareness.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all about. I mean, we want to get a poem in front of you no matter where you are.
Okay, now are you a poet?
I am a poet.
What type of poems do you do?
That's a great question. Recently,
I'm not amazing, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, recently I've been writing poems about my family. I have 2 young kids, so they turn up in the poems a lot. And also, I like to write about Miami a lot. I mean, I find Miami to be a fascinating place, a place that's always a little bit mysterious.
Okay, I'm going to bring Reagan Mendoza on live. Reagan, open up your mic. Okay, you just told me a secret. What'd you tell me?
I'm actually a poet myself. I'm performing at the Arst next Friday with a poetry group, and I've been familiar with the Miami Poetry Festival for probably like 10 years.
You're
now.
Sandbagging me. You sandbag me. You're a dirtbag sandbagger.
I just listen. It's a great festival. It's excellent. I've been to a number of the events. I know a lot of the poets that have been involved in it and performed and stuff, and I think everyone should check it out.
I'm a poet and I don't know it.
Well, that's great to hear. Thanks, Regan. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Scott, he sidewinded me. I was going to say if you had like a little short sonnet that you wanted to share with us, especially about your family, would be beautiful.
No, that's what I love about this festival is that you honestly, you never know who the poet is in your circle, and your producer's the poet. It's happened to me over and over again where I go someplace where I don't expect to find someone interested in poetry, and yet there they are.
I think everybody's interested in poetry. They just don't realize it. Poetry is in rap, it's in rock, it's in everything. All these songs are just poems with music put to them.
Absolutely, it really is, and you never really know who's engaged in the art form and who's turned to it, in a time of need or at a particular moment in their lives. I've heard so many amazing stories through doing this festival, and I'm always fascinated by people's connections with poetry.
I've always found, and I'm just going to be really honest and transparent here, poetry has been very difficult for me to access and appreciate because I have a very short attention span. Could you tell?
Yeah, But I think that there's a poem out there for everyone. Maybe you should be reading some haiku.
I was going to say that. You took my line.
Okay. Sorry, I beat you to it.
No, that's great.
I think there's a poem for everyone, and I think if there's a poem that hasn't engaged you, it's just that the right one hasn't found you.
Oh, that is just so beautiful. I really like that thought. Now, if a student or a teacher or just a random person wanted to get involved or attend are there like events?
Yeah. So there are. So because we're still conscious of the pandemic and safety, most of our events are online this year. But you can go to our website, omiami.org. It's just Miami with an O in front, and find them. But we also do have there's a couple in-person ones. We're actually doing an event on Friday, April 23rd with the Underline right there in Brickell, where we'll be doing an outdoor socially distanced event with them. So for people who want to get out of the house and be at a safe distance, we got that for you too.
That's great. How about driving around that truck, with the words on the side? And I think
love those trucks.
Great. I think that'd be great, or like doing that in when there are people back, I guess, in downtown. I gotta just say it that way. It's so weird, isn't it? Weird.
Yeah,
but we're starting to come out, and I think that providing that socially distanced underlying thing is really a community service, because it's difficult to find a creative thing, an outlet for creativity where you can still feel comfortable. And I got to say it, and see your friends. Oh, I saw a friend of mine in person for the first time in a year and a half today. Oh, it was so great. Put on a suit yesterday. No one else in the place was wearing. I didn't care. Oh, it was great. Great. So, Scott, if somebody wants to really experience poetry, where should they go look for it?
So they should come to our website, omiami.org, and we have a list of projects of places where poetry, where you can encounter it, at your own pace. We also have, again, events and workshops and other things that you can participate in. And come check it out and come join us. We even have, this year, we made a beer that's based on a poem with our friends at Unbranded Brewery in Hialeah. So there's actually a beer you can get that's based on a poem.
That is so cool. Is there any other really neat stuff like that?
Yeah, I think the most meaningful thing we're doing this year is a project we're calling Remembrance to Order. And it's for anyone who has lost a loved one in the past year, and either the loved one lives in Miami or the person who passed. And we will write you a poem about that person in elegy. And so you just send us the information, and then we pay a poet to write the poet. And the results have been unbelievable. It's really been beautiful to watch.
Wow, that actually sounds really marvelous.
Yes.
Especially given what we've all personally been through. I mean, I just got a kickback on email today that said the person I was sending it to passed of COVID. That's how I was on a kickback email.
It's been a terrible year. It's been a really tough year, and poetry is one of those things that I think can help a little bit. Obviously it can't do everything, but I think it's a time when all of us need more personal connection, and we hope that we can provide that.
Scott, I look forward to meeting you in person and creating a personal connection that way. Henry, again, will meet us at Green Street. But this is really terrific. I want to thank Lisa again. She always brings me these guests out of nowhere. They're really tremendous. So, Scott, I want to thank you for what you're doing for our community. A lot of people will be touched that won't have the chance to thank you. So I want to thank you for them. Thank you so much, Scott, for bringing this to our community and proving that Miami is not a wasteland.
Not at all. And thank you so much, Jim, for having me on. It means a lot.
Yeah,
it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I feel you. Henry's into it. We're real people here. Okay. We really support the community and the building of our community. We're in the real estate part. We build the bricks and sticks, but without the softer part of the culture, people won't want to come here.
That's true. Yeah. No, and I appreciate, people understanding that this is a community and we all have to contribute what we can to it. So I really appreciate that. And Henry doing things to help the environment. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. No, I love your whole concept. I think it's great. And I think it'll actually play really well with the systems that I want to talk about because they have their own monitors. It'd be great just to roll poetry as people are shopping. For God's sakes, we need some groundedness, right?
Let's do it. I love it.
Pino. Not all about money. I love it. Listen, Scott, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with you and Lisa to connect. And on next year's Miami, maybe we can get you with some of my friends and get you in the lobbies of some buildings and stuff. It would be really nice. Start visioning, because if you can vision it, we can make it happen. That's what we're really all about.
I love that. Let's do it.
Okay, man, you're terrific. Reagan, you secretive SO. Oh, I can't say that. We'll be right back. Reagan, take it away. You can say a poem if you want. South Florida's longest running business talk show that's being piloted by a poet. I want to thank everybody for listening, especially our friends at Warren Henry, who also sponsor us for like 9 years. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Want an Audi? They'll sell it to you. They got a store in Gainesville. You want something else? They sell them all down in the Keys. They'll get it for you. What do all those deals have in common? Well, they're all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That's complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to like your car. If you don't, you can return it. No one returns it. They all like it. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. I love her. You know, I walked in and she said on the phone, she didn't hear me. She said she's all about spreading happiness and kindness in the world. That's what you want your wife to say. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Hey, everybody, I'm Jim Freed. Call me for Creative Real Estate Capital. I'm working with one of my favorite developers. I'm helping him buy his $8 million condo, and I'm helping him help his two kids buy two $400,000 houses. That's right. That's how you stay relevant and help your friends and clients. So call me. I'm also getting guys, gals too. We'll just call them generically real estate people, mezzanine financing, pref equity, all kinds of incredible land deals. I can't believe that I'm getting done. It's white hot for the land. Raw land, unentitled. I can't believe it. And I can get it done, Henry. We're doing 100% of cost as far as we're concerned. Guy thinks it's 70, but it's 100, but that's okay. We feel we can get out. So call me. I've got really creative capital, and it's got a real incredible pressure to get. You want another one, Henry? I got another guy called me. He can't originate enough hard money loans. He wants to buy them from my clients at a premium. Wow. $20 million worth. I'm so hot. Psst. So call me, 305-773-6300. I'm not working on anything straightforward because nothing is. Call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you. It's true.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Well, it's a real exciting day here on Freed on Business. We've learned that Reagan Mendoza is a poet. We've learned that Ten-X is a big service company. We've learned that I'm doing so many land deals that they keep texting me during the show. And we've got my good friend and client, Henry Pino, on, who's one of the most creative people I know. Henry, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's a really great pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Henry. Look, first of all, you're one of my favorites because you're a member of the same club I am, the Club of the Self-Made Man. So already I'm all about getting you your success. Now, we met in the real estate business. And let me tell you, do great deals. But I don't want to talk about that today. I want to talk about saving the world, which is really what I'm all about. Okay? You've come up with something that is really ingenious that I wish I could use at my house today. Why don't you tell everybody what it is?
Sure, with pleasure. So yeah, as you mentioned, my main platform, what puts my kids through school, I put them through school, is the real estate world. And I've built, thousands of units in South Florida. I've known you for like 25 years, I guess.
I had more hair.
Yeah, so it's been a while. So having that's a specialty, and combining it with the responsibility, the climate change issues and plastic, etc., and having the ability to combine them both has been fantastic for me. And I'll give you, look, the systems are basically behind me. And what you're looking at, my background is what we call the eco pots. Those systems can dispense anything from home care to personal care to condiments to the thickest of the thickest type of edible products without using new plastic. So they're made to refill the same container over and over again. You can use a stainless steel or aluminum container that you can bring from home. Now, the real estate side is really, along with the EcoPod, how we started. And the concept began with installing the system in buildings that are 200 units or more and offering the tenants free starter kits, be it condominiums or apartments. And the starter kits, basically a bag full of the products of the brand that we manufacture, and it refills those containers once they're empty. Instead of them throwing it away from their apartment or their condo, they basically go and they refill it down on their lobby area or their recreation area, wherever they want to put the system, but it's available 7 days, 24 hours at a much cheaper cost. And, there's a lot of plastic that's saved, but also there's no carbon footprint because you're not getting in your car to go buy the stuff. It's always in your building. So
it's tremendous.
Yeah,
it's
the savings are great. Yeah, thank you. The savings are great because, again, you don't have any overhead. You're basically placing almost like a mini supermarket or a staple products in the building.
Colleges, university dorm rooms.
Yeah. Well, right now our van.
Eat it up.
That's right. Our presentation delivery home vans are at Barry University as we speak, doing a presentation for the kids over there. That's why I had Barry University on the tip of my tongue when you couldn't come up with it, because we're over there right now and showing the students how the systems work and how they can help to get this into the Targets and the Walmarts of the world and the Whole Foods.
They have to ask.
We're dispensing. Yeah. We're able to dispense their products also. It doesn't have to be our brand. They can modify the system's look to be a Procter & Gamble machine, a Publix machine, their private label products. So it just goes on and on and on. You can put them in auto parts stores, dispense windshield cleaners, motor oils. It's all over.
So, Henry, how did you come up with this idea? What was the genesis?
Well, the idea actually was born, I would probably tell you, maybe like 30 years ago, prior to even getting into real estate. When I get out of college, just like every other young person, I want to get the job with the best benefits and a car, if possible, et cetera, et cetera. So I went to work for a company as a salesperson, account executive, right, with a company called Ecolab. And this was many years ago. And so after being
I remember Ecolab.
Yeah. I worked with them for a while. And at the entrepreneurial mindset that I have, like 3 years into it, I said, wait a second, I think I can do this on my own. I just need to figure out how to make these products and set up the mechanical systems that dispense these systems. So anyway, hired a chemist, some software engineers, hardware engineers, and went into business on my own. Before selling the company and getting into what I really like, which is real estate, I came up with this concept. But back then, 30 years ago, the environmental issue wasn't front. No. So when the recession came in the 2000s, it ended in 8 or 10, whatever it is that it ended. I said, wait a second, I'm getting basically served with foreclosure loans left and right, and we don't know when this is going to end. So I got a hit, I got a family to feed. And so I decide that the other thing that I know how to do is make institutional chemicals. And yeah. So anyway, I put the concept together and the timing was right. And as the years have passed in the recent years, I end up getting the system patented. And then I put it on social media. And then Unilever starts to call. We meet with Procter & Gamble, and the ball has started to roll, and it hasn't stopped since then.
So how many units do you have out right now?
Right now in Dade County in South Florida, the Tri-County area, we have like close to like 42 machines. But really what I want to do is install these systems where the masses of shoppers are at, where the plastic mostly is discharged. And that's the bottom line. It comes from supermarkets and retail places. So, it's just been difficult because it's such an adaptive technology that has to really be sold. A lot of the individuals, independent, environmentally conscious individuals want to know where they're at. We get bombarded on a daily basis. Are you in Chicago? Are you in Knoxville? Are you in New York City?
I am going to tell you right now that I have a friend of mine that represents thousands of condo associations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hold it. Two guys that represent tens of thousands of condo associations, sure, and another guy who does also. I just wrote it down. Okay. Yep. We'll talk off air about that. I want to make sure that you get to them because they're good people. And I really think that this is technology that the world needs to really begin to not only explore, but deploy.
Yeah, they really need to deploy it. Everybody is up in arms now. They're feeling, when I say everybody, I'm talking about local governments and citizens where they thought everything was being recycled. Well, it's not. We don't have recycling programs where it's really recycled, because the bottom line is, like a year and a half ago, cities started letting go of these systems, of these recycling programs, because it's too expensive for them.
Oh, there's also nobody buying it anymore. China went out of business. So a lot of it is being incinerated, burnt. It's pollution. And so the climate change issue is in a big part as a result of plastic being burnt, not reused. Henry, if somebody wanted to get more information or connect with you on getting more information or getting a system, how would they do that?
Well, the best place I would say to do is start with ecopod.us. E as in ever, C as in cat, O as in Oscar, P as in Paul, OD.us is our website. And, you can log in and get all the information that you need. And,
I really want to thank you so much for being here today on the show and sharing this. I want to call you offline, or we'll set it up and we'll get together at Green Street with the other three people that were on the show today.
Sure.
And we'll talk about ideas. I really do think that this is something that condo associations should look into. If for no other reason, it's another revenue source for them.
Yeah, it is. It increases the NOI. Let's say it's $100,000 a year or whatever it is.
Not only that, it can reduce the common area maintenance they charge.
Yeah, and their discharge cost, trash. It's all around a good social responsibility program.
I can't thank you enough for going in with this, Henry. This is tremendous. We're going to get together in the next couple of weeks to talk more about it in person, but I've got this. I'll send you an email with my ideas, and we'll go around that. I want to thank you so much for this, Henry, but also I want to thank you for working with me on the real estate transactions in the past.
Sure.
I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate your trust and confidence that you've expressed to me over the years. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Keep on going.
I will. We'll talk about that too. God bless you, Henry. Have a beautiful day. And you know what? I think it's great that you do this with your family because you get to see them all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Smile. Oh, I love it. Oh, there it is. That's the guy you want to do business with. The happy man. Got a good idea. All right. I'm going back now to my poet friend, Reagan. Let's rock the world. Henry, I'll see you in the next couple of weeks. I promise. Oh, this is great. Back after this, I'm going to talk about my experience going to a real office building for the first time. Woo. Sorry, everybody. I had to do a little business there on the cell phone. I guess we all do now, don't we? Oh boy. Hey, everybody. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We have great guests like Henry, and we also have great cultural stuff like we did with Scott Cunningham from Oh Miami. That's what I love, is being part of our community. That's why I love working with Warren Henry. We're going to have some great social action stuff that we're going to do with Warren Henry coming up. Reagan, you can come on the show. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audi. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That means you get complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. It's amazing how many friends do this. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Hey, Reagan, thank you so much for coming on the air while you're doing all your stuff. I know it's not that easy, but I am looking forward to talking to you in the last segment. We'll talk about all kinds of great stuff. And probably what we'll talk about is what I'm doing today, and that's helping people. Give me a call at 305-773-6300 if I can help you. I'm helping some big shot developers get their kids' loans. I'm helping them get their own loans. I'm helping them get preferred equity. I'm helping mezzanine equity. You need raw land financed. I can even do that. It blows my mind, but I can do it. Call me, 305-773-6300. Why can you get the raw land done? Because there just aren't enough houses. That's why. So people are willing to take more risk on that. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, Reagan must have had an infiltration from the small people at his house, so he had to go offline just a little bit. But I wanted to talk about, I don't really usually take a lot of time and editorialize, but I'm going to do it today because I'm going to do it about coming out of your shell and getting back into the market. I'm afraid. I got Vivian. I got to stay really clean and not catch viruses or anything or bring it home. I'm double vaxxed now, and so is she. So I'm coming out of my shell. I've had a bunch of meetings outside. Yesterday, I went to my first office meeting. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be wild. It was a 2-story office building. I went up in a hydraulic elevator. I was checked 32 times before I even got to the principal. You walk down a long hallway. The director of first impressions is there. Hi. Then you go walk down another long hallway past the water fountain that says out of order. It's not. Then you go all the way downstairs. You meet Mr. Big. He's at the end of like 2 long tables that all the people work at. You didn't see the plastic up yet because only one person's working there besides Mr. Big. 4 total people in an office. It must have been 20,000 square feet. It's okay, Reagan. It adds credibility. It's all good. Tell her I hope that the baby's doing okay. Now, Reagan, we're talking about bringing culture to our community. You're a poet. I didn't know it. I sort of did now that we talked about it there on the show. Is the poetry thing part of the cultural support in our community that you like? Is that one of the reasons you like living here?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of the first things. It's something I got involved in when I was living in Chicago, which is where I'm from originally. And it was one of the first things I got involved in when I came down here. Because like you said, it's not just about, I'm a performance poet, which means I do it like live in front of an audience and stuff like that, in addition to writing and etc. But it's not only in the poetry community. It's not only about, oh, I'm up on the stage and I'm performing for everyone. It's also about getting involved in the community. So I've met a lot and worked with a lot of great nonprofits through doing poetry. I've done a lot of different events that have helped out, like after school programs. We've done mentoring through poetry. Been involved in like I said, in the schools themselves, in middle schools, high schools, colleges, things like that. So it's a great avenue to get involved directly into the community.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. High five to you.
Well, thank you. I do what I can.
It's really nice also promoting Henry's idea,
Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I really like to get more involved in it. You can see how there'd be a pushback from all the people that are vested interest in making all the plastic products. This is but I really think that just the way we get the bottles for the water. I never had one of these until a few years ago, and I really think it's very important as we make these cultural changes. And, it's not about me. I'm not going to change the climate to make it better while I'm alive at this point. But I want to make it better for the little people that I see. All the little kids running around and punching me in the kneecap and stuff. That's why I gave the trees to the synagogue, and then I see the little kids playing in the shade. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's that's once you start to think about, well, how are things going to be when I'm, that don't affect me, when I'm out, when I'm gone, what can I do now that's going to help change the world and make it better 100 years from now that I can't possibly benefit from? That's a good head place to be in, if nothing else.
It is. I walked in today and to do the show, and I walked into the house and I heard my wife on the phone, and she didn't know I was there. And she was telling her girlfriend that all she wants to do is project good energy and bring love and positive energy and kindness to the world. Then she hung up the phone, and I gave her a big hug and kiss. And I said, I came behind her. She didn't know I was there. And I said, honey, I couldn't ask for a better wife.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's all I want to do too. Because if the one thing that this pandemic and the shutting in has shown us, it's that we need to be kinder and gentler to everybody. And you never know what the person next to you is going through.
Right.
So, I enjoyed bringing the old poetry guy. I enjoyed bringing Henry, the 10X guy. That's just real cutting edge stuff. We'll put him on that show, on the tech show. And the tech person I want to introduce him to, don't you?
Yeah. I think Saul will love him.
Huh? Saul will love him.
Saul will love him.
But Olivia.
Yeah.
Will get together with him.
Yeah, that's true.
So remember, Olivia executes on data. Olivia is all about data execution, and they have all kinds of data. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just end by talking about the things that people can do to help make the world a better place in just the next week. Okay. I talk to people, it's just the coffee person. When you go and get a cup of coffee, just tell the person thank you. Tell them that you appreciate the design on your coffee. Tell them that you appreciate that they're just there. Tell them that you appreciate that they put themselves at risk for others. Tell them thank you. You'll be amazed at what happens. You probably get a little extra coffee.
It's true.
I use this all the time. I use it all the time. And it's the one thing that I've really missed by being pandemicked. You really can't do it on the phone. Although when I call the help center with Apple or whatever, you can call them. And I always start off with, I want to be your best phone call of the day. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but at least it sets the tone right.
Sure.
And that you're being considerate. Every single person I call in business, I'm considerate to. A friend of mine just got divorced. I introduced him to a wonderful person, you know? So it's all about just keeping involved with your community, being supportive of your network. Now we're growing and the world is picking up steam, but there will be people that it doesn't pick up for as quickly. You need to be conscious of that and careful. You need to be considerate. You need to help those people and ask them how you can help pick it up. I can tell you right now, Reagan, you know, every person on that sheet of paper, they've all been on the show. Every one of those people that I'm going to introduce Henry to is going to be on the show. In fact, maybe I'll put together a show and put Henry on and introduce them all on the same show.
Might be good.
I think it would be. Because really, you know, Henry's looking for a concentration of users. And I know from living in an apartment building that Vivian, I just made her start getting her detergent delivered in Amazon. Do you know how heavy that stuff is? They bring 3-4 of those things in a box. It's heavy. It's heavy. Imagine if I didn't have to do that. If it just went downstairs, right next to the Coke machine, boom, and come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'd be great. It'd be great. And I really think that America needs that. America needs ways to reduce the excess waste.
Yeah.
You know? So listen, I want to wrap up a little early because the maniacs started working on the building again.
Brother.
Okay, can you hear them?
Not yet.
Okay, good. They're coming. So I want to thank everybody for listening today. It was a tremendous show. It was artsy. It was about the future. It was about things that are going on today that are going to change. And I think that's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to the first responders, to all the people that help everybody, to the teachers, to everybody that puts themselves at risk for everybody. We're not done yet. It's very dangerous time. Everybody needs to be careful. So keep implementing your public health stuff, mask, social distance, as best you can. Don't go crazy. Get vaxxed if that's the way you feel. If you don't want to get vaxxed, call me. We'll talk about it. I want to thank our sponsors, Deep Locks, Reagan Mendoza. That's right. I count you as a sponsor. Creco AI, Carlson International, and we'll give a plug to Turkel too. Warren Henry Automotive, they drive the ship here. They've been our sponsor for 9 years. Thank you to all of them. Please go to our Facebook page and tell your friends and all that other stuff. We're all over social. I'm a LinkedIn Jedi. Get on LinkedIn with me and watch. Facebook, YouTube. Reagan's the dude that does the YouTube stuff. It's getting better all the time. If you missed today's show, it's going to be on the webpage, freedombusiness.com. It'll be up it's live now on Twitter. On LinkedIn. So this is Jim Freed for Freedom Business. Look for us next week I almost said 8:80 a.m. Woo! Right here on all the social channels. We're going to have a tremendous show. I promise you. Remember, the person wants to do something, finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Reagan, it's yours.